when I was stuck trying to lose the last 15 pounds after I had a baby, I was really frustrated. I was in the gym every day, but not seeing results. And you said certain things to me that made a lot of sense to me that I want to share.
You have to make the sacrifice if you really want to be in shape. Some people just kind of want it, right? They don't really want it. With all of these apps and with technology, we're able to get this information pretty easy. And now you're opened up to this world of like, whoa, what are we eating? It's amazing what the body can do when you actually put your mind to it and put all your effort into that goal.
Today we have celebrity fitness trainer Matt Tralli. He is going to deliver the most impactful fitness tips, tricks, must-know, dietary, fitness things that you need to hit all of your goals. So when I was stuck trying to lose the last 15 pounds after I had a baby, I was really frustrated. I was in the gym every day, but not seeing results. And you said certain things to me that made a lot of sense to me that I want to share. So I think one of the key takeaways was diet. Talk to me about your diet, because I think a lot of people want to know, what do you eat in a day? What's a typical day in the life of Matt look like?
I intermittent fast. Again, it doesn't work for everyone. It's not for everyone, but for me personally, I intermittent fast.
So within the 8 hours, what are you eating? What's your main source of nutrition?
So my main source of nutrition is chicken, ground turkey, ground beef, and the occasional, just regular steak. And with that, I'll have my complex carbs. So I'll have brown rice, quinoa, sweet potatoes. And then for my greens, I'm having broccoli, zucchini, green beans. I stick to those things mainly. I really, really love ground turkey. I think ground turkey is a very lean protein. I don't feel too full when I eat it. It's one of my favorite things recently. And then obviously chicken, I can eat chicken breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
What about eggs? I love eggs. I would imagine as a trainer, protein, good source of nutrients. What's your take on eggs?
Yep. I love eggs. I also have eggs as well. I said chicken, ground turkey, but I always forget eggs. I do have, I throw that in there. Since I don't eat breakfast or, whatever, everyone has, they call it breakfast in the morning. I don't have breakfast in the morning. But I'll still eat eggs for lunch, or I'll eat eggs for dinner. Right. It's a good source of protein. I have anytime I ever have eggs, me personally, I have 6 eggs. 6 eggs is 36 grams of protein. Again, we hit our macros, our macronutrients. Everyone's macronutrients is going to be different depending on their goal. So I'm trying to hit my high protein goal, which is if I weigh 190 pounds, right, I have to have 190 grams of protein. So to hit that protein goal, I know what sources of protein have, the given gram, specifically eggs, 36 grams, chicken, 36 grams. So it's, I know these things as I go and I get them.
So speaking of macronutrients, because I never really tracked macros, I look at labels, I see, if something is high sodium, high carbs, I might avoid something like that, but I just started getting into the macronutrient thing, and you recommended an app to me. So can you speak more on that app and how people can track their macros and figure out what their individual profile should look like?
Yep, I think most people use the app MyFitnessPal. I've used it. That is, I think, the best macro tracking app out there. It's very user friendly. It has pretty much anything you can think of when you're typing it in, and I think a lot of these apps are always trying to update so they can get all of the new restaurants or new sources of food that can get on the app. But basically, you're just kind of figuring out what your macros are, what your protein is, your fats, your sugar, your overall calories. Are all on that, you should be plugging them into the app. Obviously the old fashioned way was to just write it down. You could still do that. But basically it's just your macronutrients are makeup of your whole day of eating, right? So if you want to lose weight, there's a whole macro calculator that you can use to figure out what your macros need to be in order to lose 5 pounds, 10 pounds, or gain 10 pounds, gain 5 pounds. And that is just as old as it is test of time. and that stuff works.
But I think some people need to hear it. Like when I was frustrated because I was in the gym working harder than ever, spending more money than ever on training and not getting the results I wanted, I was stuck around like 135 pounds and my goal was 120. And whatever I did at that 135 mark, nothing was moving that scale down. And for me, it was something you said about being in a calorie deficit. And I was thinking, well, I go to Starbucks or I make my coffee, I put milk in it. Whether I get a bagel or a piece of banana bread or something, I'm already starting my day in a high calorie position. And, it's okay to have those things here and there, but if your goal is to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. There's really no way around that. So I think that when you said that to me, it was like a light bulb went off, like, okay, cut back on the lattes, just drink an espresso shot with a splash of milk. And it's okay. Maybe I prefer a nice warm latte from a great restaurant, but if I'm trying to lose weight, that's got to go. Another app that I shared with you that you actually found interesting was this app called, maybe some people have heard of it, Bobby Approved. A friend of mine shared it with me. She actually called me out because I posted about a protein shake that I really enjoyed just the taste of. You told me it was a brand you liked, another trainer had recommended it, and the label, I'm just going to call them out, it's Owen, only what you need. So I'm thinking I bought it at my organic grocery store, Air One. The label says only what you need. I really didn't look into what was in the shake. I just kind of picked it up, drank it. Oh, it tasted good. Good thing to have on the go. I went on the app, Bobby Approved. So you download this app. He's, an influencer, blogger type person. He researches all of his foods and labels, and he's got an extensive system. So you can scan any item at the grocery store, or you can punch it in, and he's going to give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and then he's going to highlight the ingredients that are bad. So I was shocked at some of the things that I trusted to be good, and then when I looked at what he was highlighting, their ingredients were not good. And they're not going to help you if you're on some kind of journey to, lose weight or improve your overall health. Like I was buying my daughter a yogurt by a, healthy brand, and they had cane sugar added to it. It's like, why? She doesn't need at an early age to be exposed to cane sugar. I'm not anti-sugar in general. Like I'll take some of it here and there, but if there are better yogurt brands that aren't adding sugar in, why not run them on the app and buy the better brands for your kids and just start them young?
I think it's kind of interesting and cool to see that we as a society start to look at these things more, because you're talking about 10, 20 years ago there was nothing like that. You wouldn't even know. And exactly, if you didn't have an app, there was no apps, right? They couldn't tell you that. So it was not as easy accessible of information. And I think now with all of these apps and with technology, we're able to get this information pretty easy, and now you're opened up to this world of like, whoa, what are we eating?
Yeah, and you can do better. My daughter will grab a bag of blueberries and attack the organic blueberries, and why not give that to her as a snack? I don't want her eating Cheetos or even knowing about those things, because honestly, they're disgusting. And maybe when we were younger, it was believed that Cheerios were okay. I just recently threw out Cheerios because I read about the stuff that they're spraying on these crops, and I think you can't filter everything out, but if you can focus on what you can control, why not just pick the healthier alternative? And you just have to maybe do a little extra work. Like I said, running things through this app, which doesn't really take me very long, is help me make better choices for me and my daughter.
Well, I think they're always doing more and more research on foods and what affects the body and long term, right? Because they don't know until things happen, right? And whatever it is, from cancers to other diseases, like they're always, researching and finding out new information. So it's good that we know a lot of these things. And it's just things to look out for. Obviously, life, gets in the way. But, at the same time, you want to know these things so you can, set yourself up, your own self up, and your kids and the generations to come.
When I started training with you before I was pregnant. So then after I got pregnant, I had to make certain decisions as far as what workouts can I do. So I basically was able to do a lot of the things I did before, which is the general guideline. You always have to talk to your doctor when you're pregnant. Every pregnancy is different. People come with complications and certain health risks. But for me, they basically said to me, if you were doing it before and you're not doing anything, that's going to, hurt your abdominal area, you can continue doing what you were doing before. Yeah. So I eased back into strength training when I felt it was appropriate, which was, when I was a little far into the first trimester. So what's your approach to training? I know you've trained several pregnant women at this point, from the starting point of their pregnancy to postpartum. Yep. So what would your recommendations kind of be towards, as far as navigating that?
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely work out when you're pregnant. It's actually good. It's actually beneficial for you, especially when you're having a baby. Like, it actually helps tremendously.
Labor,
Yeah, it helps the
everything,
labor
recovery, I believe
tremendously.
it.
Obviously, at the end of the day, just go about it in a safe manner. Make sure your trainer is certified in pregnancy training, right? And obviously, you don't want to overdo it, right? You don't want to like push yourself to the limits where, obviously when you're not pregnant, this would be way different. So just knowing your limits and obviously having a trainer that you trust with that. And, yeah, obviously you can still do the same movements. Obviously, you're modifying, the ones that, are affecting your abdominal area. But if you're active, right, and you're lifting weights, you'll be fine, and that's the main thing about, working out while you're pregnant.
I remember in the first trimester, which is when a lot of women experience fatigue and morning sickness, which I definitely had fatigue. I thankfully didn't have morning sickness. But going to the gym, it kept me sane. Like I would wake up and I'd be so exhausted and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm going to the gym today. But when I pay for a session, I don't miss a session. So it's worth my money just to sign me up because I have a gym downstairs. If I tell myself I'm going to go on my own and then I'm tired or the phone rings, I'm more likely to skip. But when my money is on the table, I'm not missing it. So I didn't miss those sessions and I would always walk out of that gym feeling so refreshed and so good about powering through the workout, even if we had to dial it back a bit because I experienced some shortness of breath and things that go along with pregnancy. So again, it's knowing your body, but the benefit is going to far outweigh you not pushing through that workout if if you're capable of doing it. So you helped me on a 50-pound weight loss goal, which I'm, forever grateful for. That was a really big number for me. You have a client who lost 200 pounds with you. Talk to me about his journey because I think it's so inspirational and people need to hear this story.
Yes, his name is Rich. He goes by Sugar-Free Rich. He lost 200 pounds in 1 year, which was a miraculous weight loss. He went from like 420 pounds to 220 pounds. And the biggest thing for him was that he just wasn't eating the right things, wasn't active, wasn't working out, wasn't doing any of those things. And it got to the point where it was just getting very out of hand and he had to change his life. And one of the biggest things he did was they did Runyon twice a day, every day. He would do it in the morning and do it at night. And then he would just eat whole foods, again, was sugar-free, right? He wouldn't have any sugar. And look what he did just from that, right? So he had a goal of 90 pounds in 90 days and he accomplished that goal pretty fast. I mean, 90 pounds in 90 is a pound a day, right? So he was basically, it's amazing what the body can do when you actually put your mind to it and put all your effort into that goal. And I think a lot of people kind of want things, they don't want it as bad as they really say they do, right? Because if you said you really wanted that bad, you would do the things that you to get to that goal. And I think that we're off on that, with people trying to think that they can, beat around the bush and do all things like that can, get them to the goal faster, but it just kind of deteriorates them and you end up going back to the start. So goal setting is definitely a huge, huge thing.
And I think that everyone's body is different. Certain things are going to work for some people, certain things aren't going to work for people. I am obviously a woman. I gave birth, and I know a lot of females gravitate towards Pilates, yoga. I like them. I do them in moderation, but for me, I gravitate towards strength training. I think when it comes to women in particular, they have a fear that they're going to bulk up if they do strength training, and I'm sure you hear that a lot. I don't feel that way at all. So what do you think as far as, people who might give you that objection and how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that it is something that a lot of girls, when they, come to me or any trainers, you don't want to bulk up, they don't want to lift any weights, right? That's not what's going to happen, right? Your food, your diet is going to make you bulk up, right? So if you're eating, a surplus of calories and you're lifting weights, right, you're gonna bulk up. That's the name of the game. So if you have your diet right, you're strength training, you're doing cardio, you will be lean and strong, right? So I don't think any women or any female should think that they're gonna bulk up from that. 9 times out of 10, it's probably your diet that's gonna bulk you up.
So if someone were to just go to the gym with a very short amount of time, I know you're a big fan of the Stairmaster. So what would you say if I had 20 minutes, what would be my most effective way to burn calories and kind of do that strength training? What would your...
Yeah, well, I mean, I love the Stairmaster. It's a great form of cardio. It's a great form of steady state cardio, which I like, especially in a fasted state. So if I'm doing fasted steady state cardio, I love the Stairmaster personally, just because I'm able to keep my heart rate at one level the entire time, between 120 and 150, right? That's that zone 2. You know, that to me is the best form of cardio. Again, everyone has their thing. That's just what I like. I do at least 20 to 30 minutes a day on the Stairmaster every single day. That's another thing too. If you just did that every single day, you worked out, like we talked about with Rich, right? Doing 30,000 steps. So I'm just saying, in equivalent to that, you're doing the Stairmaster for an hour a day, right? That's gonna get you faster to your goal for sure, right? If you're eating the right things and you're working out on top of that. I mean, there's no telling, you know, how much weight you can lose in a certain amount of time. Whatever your goal is, you just have to be doing it every single day and working towards it.
So another game-changing thing for me that you said when I was feeling really stuck was, do you have a fitness watch? And I didn't have one at the time. Now I'm so dependent on my Apple Watch when I'm training, and I know there's other watches out there that people, you know, might say are better, but I think for me, the Apple Watch gave me accountability. So every time I train with you, I set a minimum goal of 300 active calories. Sometimes we go way over. It all depends on cardio and, you know, various factors. But even if I go to the gym on my own, I start the fitness mode on the watch, I track it, and I will not leave the gym until I hit that minimum of 300 active calories. So that really helped me just kind of hold myself accountable instead of going down to the gym and, you know, getting in like a kind of okay workout and saying, oh, I went to the gym today, I checked that box. So What do you like as far as fitness watches? What do you use? What do you recommend?
All right, so I started with the Apple. I love the Apple Watch. It was great. I had the new Ultra, but I've just been really high on the Garmin Phoenix 7 is what I have now, mainly because I've been getting into running, and it's a great running tracking watch. Also, the battery life lasts like 20 days, so I don't never have to charge it.
Yeah.
Also tracks my sleep, another thing that we've talked about before. That's the biggest difference I have with the Apple Watch and the Garmin, because since the Garmin lasts 20 days on no charge, right, you can sleep overnight and you can do that. Where the Apple Watch, you have to charge it every night, right? Because by the end of the day, your Apple Watch is probably almost dead. But if you really are just focused on your fitness and fitness tracking, I just think the Garmin is on another level in terms of that. But there's other fitness trackers like the Whoop. Whoop is also, I think with the Whoop is probably the best. Problem with the Whoop, from my opinion, there's no face. I like a watch. I like to see, you know, at the same time, I do get my messages and my emails, all stuff on my watch. So for me as a trainer, I love that, because then I'm not looking at my phone all the time when I'm training clients. You know, if something comes up on my watch, I look at it, you know, I deal with it later. I eat whole foods, right? So I don't want to portion out my meals, right? If I had to portion out my meals, like, so I had to have breakfast or something like that, like, also, like, I get up so early. What am I for me, like, that's what I say. For everyone else, it's different. For me, I get up so early. I'm not even hungry. So by the time I'm hungry, I'm working. What am I gonna stop? Hey, can we stop working out so I can go eat something? No, I'm gonna just wait, and then I'm gonna eat when I eat.
But you're disciplined.
So that's the thing. I'm disciplined. Some people are like, they can't do it. I think, again, that'd be a controversial topic. I think people are just not, you know, they don't have discipline enough.
Yeah.
And they're just like, once they're hungry, oh, I have to eat. Oh, I have to have this. A lot of people don't understand this is a good thing to put in, they don't understand the difference between being hungry and being thirsty. Sometimes you might be thirsty and you think you're hungry, so you eat before you drink. You get what I'm saying? And most people don't drink enough water. 90% of people don't drink enough water. And what's the biggest thing what people say why they don't drink a lot of water? Oh, I have to go to the bathroom all the time.
Because your body is
right. So what I'm saying is, so people are just saying, instead of going to the bathroom and doing that, they'll eat food.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So they're not drinking enough water, and then they're hungry, so they want to eat, but they're really just thirsty. So you drink a full glass of water, I guarantee if you're hungry, if you're going to drink a full glass of water, you won't be hungry.
Or at least it'll take away from some
Take away from something because it's filling up your stomach, right? But it's water.
So I grew up with this mindset. I don't know if I read it somewhere or it was just like ingrained in me that when you wake up in the morning, you have breakfast. And I love breakfast. Like we talked about eggs. I could eat eggs for dinner. I love breakfast. So I used to think as soon as I woke up, I have to have breakfast. I can't work out on an empty stomach. Like my brain was programmed, and I read way back when that, that will help your metabolism if you break the fast when you wake up, because your body's fasting overnight and you got to eat breakfast, and it improves your metabolism and all that. So you typically don't eat breakfast, but let's say you had a big workout. You give me this analogy about a car where you would need to eat for fuel, right? So you've been into running lately. So can you just touch on that and how you view food when you have a big, cardio workout or something that requires you to really take in food?
Right, exactly. And that's the thing about fasting. And I think that's what has a big misconception on it. And people are like, oh, fasting is not good for you. You can't work out when you're fasted. It's not good for you. Yes, if you're doing an intense workout, right, your body needs the fuel to get you through the workout. So a lot of people will come to me and they'll work out and they're like, oh, I'm lightheaded. I'm like, well, did you have anything to eat? And they're like, no. And I'm like, well, you should have something because that's going to give you fuel for the workout. I'm giving you an intense workout, right? I know my body. I know what I need to have in order for whatever workout I'm doing. Now, if I'm doing an intense workout or if I don't know what I'm doing, especially when clients come to me, personal training, especially if they've never worked with me before, something like that, that's the first thing I ask, if you have food. Because if you, not have food and you're doing an intense workout, your body is not, it's like I said with a car, that's the car analogy, is when your car is on E, right, it still runs, but it's just grabbing all of the, dirt and oil that's left in the tank, right? It's actually messing up your car, right? So think of the same thing with your body, right? You need to have the fuel in you to go and to work out, right? To function, right? Now, that's if you're doing an intense workout. Now, when I was talking about before with intermittent fasting and fasted cardio and steady state fasted cardio, it's steady state. I'm keeping my heart rate at one level, right? I'm not peaking it where my body's trying to grab other things. I'm cool. I'm doing it for an extended period of time, 20, 30, 40 minutes, and it's under control. Now, when your body's not under control and it's doing all, now it's grabbing all certain muscles and everything for fuel. And that's where your body starts to break down and you feel lightheaded and you can't move and you're locking up essentially. So again, treat your body like a car. It needs fuel, right, to run.
So after you do these big workouts, intense workouts, let's talk about recovery and supplements. So let's start with recovery. You and I both are fans of the sauna, cold plunge. So how would you recommend that people do that? I've read you're supposed to do that before a workout. I like to do that before a workout. I think it gives me energy. But how do you feel about, structuring your day? Like, should someone do, say, sauna, do that contrast with the cold and then go into a workout? Or would you say if you're really trying to get muscle recovery out of it, would you do it after?
Right, there's a lot of studies on this topic specifically. So I think recently they found that if you shouldn't do an ice bath like right after you work out, because your body is inflamed, right? So it needs that blood to like repair your muscles. And if you're going into an ice bath, you're kind of freezing that, right? So that's what they're saying is don't do it right after workout. I think it's up to, if you can do it, like I think it's 6 hours after, right, will help in more towards recovery. So basically, if you worked out, at the end of the day, doing an ice bath will be beneficial. Now, doing it in the morning, that's shocking your body, right? So if you're jumping into the cold plunge right in the morning, you're shocking your central nervous system. So it's like taking a shot of coffee. Yeah, right, exactly.
It's better than coffee for me.
Exactly, same thing. So that's why people will do it in the morning. Now, in terms of the hot-cold therapy, I think a lot of people do it because, getting into a cold plunge in the morning is not easy, right? And you're cold and you're going right into more cold. So the sauna obviously heats your body up and gets you kind of more, a little bit ready for it, even though it's still cold after that. But, I think either one is good.
What do you think the optimal temperature is?
For an ice bath? Now everyone has their own thing about that.
What would Matt
I mean, I think honestly, like if you're if you're in the 40s, you're pretty good. I mean, if you're going down below 40, I mean, yes, I don't think it's going to help you even more. You know, I don't think that being 35 degrees is going to be better than 40 degrees. Not that I think. I think again, if it's in the 40s, you're pretty good. I mean, you know, it's going to be beneficial regardless.
And how long would you do, like, say, a 45 degree cold plunge for you? How many minutes?
Now, that's what I'm saying. We used to, back in the day, we used to do 8 minutes in the ice bath, you know, during football. But now the biggest trend is doing 3 minutes. 3 minutes in the cold tub is, they deem that beneficial. After 3 minutes, you're just doing it for fun. You know what I mean?
You call that fun.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think after that, they're saying there's no more benefit to going in even longer. So that's why once people are like, oh, 3 minutes, I'm out, you know?
So what supplements do you take in a day? What's Matt's day like? What do you think are if somebody had to, you know, say to you, what are my top 5 supplements for overall health, recovery, you know, building muscle? What's your supplement breakdown?
Yeah, honestly, I think the main thing to have, obviously, is a multivitamin. I have L-carnitine, which helps your body have fat, turns into energy, right? L-carnitine, I take that in the morning. I take L-arginine, that helps with your blood flow, your blood oxidation.
Do you like glutamine? I used to take glutamine.
Glutamine, yes, I take that after workout. So I like to have that in my shakes, in my protein shakes, or even at night. I'll have that if I have, you know, they have unflavored one, you can put it in water. I'll have that with ZMA, zinc, magnesium, and 5-HTP, and melatonin a little bit, just to help me fall asleep. I don't have trouble falling asleep, but it helps me get into a deep sleep, REM sleep, and that's when your body's recovering the most. So that's where you really want your body in that mode, so you're maximizing recovery.
You have a protein shake on the menu with your friends that you work with up in Canada, and it looks awesome.
House Concepts, yeah.
So if you were to make a protein shake, let's say you partnered with someone, if you're just making a protein shake for yourself, what are your go-to ingredients? If I want to just go to the store and buy stuff to make the Matt Tralli protein shake at home, what am I putting in it?
Yeah, so for me, I love peanut butter. But a great supplement of just like, you know, Skippy peanut butter, just get the peanut butter powder, right? So it just has the peanut butter flavor, and it's like way healthier. It's just, you can even get just crushed up peanuts, right? Because peanuts is such a strong, obviously if you have a peanut allergy, that's
find an alternative,
that's
but yeah.
tough. But it's such a strong taste that it cancels out, like, you know, obviously everyone's like, oh, the protein taste, like, you know, things like that, like peanut butter, bananas, right? It takes out that protein, that taste, right? Because they're so strong in itself. So I usually have almond milk or water, banana, peanut butter, obviously the protein powder. I like vanilla protein powder. And then I put glutamine in there for recovery. And honestly, that's really it. Sometimes a little dash of cinnamon. Cinnamon's another one that's healthy, and it kind of takes the taste away from things. So like,
you and I like dates too.
Yeah, dates too, and dates are a great supplement in terms of for sugar, right? It's they're, you know, a sugary thing. It changes the taste, yeah. But obviously, in moderation, too much dates is obviously going to be high in sugar. I mean, if you look at, there's sugar on it, and if it's like anything, if you have, you know, a ton of fruit, right? It's definitely not going to be, you know, good for you. It still has sugar in it, right? It's different than, you know, our refined sugar, but you don't want to just like stuff your face with fruit, you know.
But if you put one date in your smoothie, you're going to get better health
Yes,
benefits.
of course, yeah, for sure, and better than just putting like straight up sugar in there, or like whatever you know want to put in there that makes it taste amazing, like chocolate syrup or something, you know.
We are going to link a guide below in the description box. Let me know any questions you have. We'd love to do another series and help you on your fitness journey. Thank you so much. Make sure to subscribe. Catch you on the next one.